Hello and welcome, Desert Mountain members, to another edition of the Desert Mountain Podcast. My name is Michael Craven, and I'm joined today, as always, by Kim Atkinson. Hello, Kim.
Hello, Michael. Hello, members.
We are out here. We're at the ranch today.
Giddy up.
It's beautiful.
What's not to love about it?
This new trend of our podcast on the road, I think it's going to stick.
I think it is, too. It makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be outside anyways.
Obviously.
And who better to take us into the outdoors than our brand new, not new to Desert Mountain, but our brand new director of outdoor adventures, Theresa Beall, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. It's awesome to be out here with you today.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for letting us come hang out in your hangout.
Absolutely. The view is not bad up here.
It's not too shabby.
Good view in front of us. We have some equine. We have so they might come and visit us during the show.
I hope they do.
And so be on the lookout for that if you're watching on YouTube. We might have some friends.
Should have brought some snacks for them.
We should have. Some carrots or
some
something.
Carrots. Oh, well.
What are you going to do?
Well, we're going around the world of outdoor today, and it's great to be on the trails where we obviously host all of our outdoor events, from the hiking, of course, all of our horseback riding, but it's just kind of the beginning of the outdoor. And having you here is so exciting because we're seeing a whole lot on the internal side of things. What the members don't see is the planning and behind the scenes and what happens with those big ideas that start brewing. And then we see them on the backside, and now they're getting ready to launch. So a lot of good stuff to look forward to.
A lot of very, very exciting things to look forward to with outdoor adventures, definitely.
All right.
Well, before we get into some of that, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background? I know, a lot of the Desert Mountain members may know you've been on the mountain for a long time, but you're new in this role. But what was your journey to Desert Mountain? Kind of where are you from? How'd you wind up here?
Well, so I grew up in central Vermont, the rolling hills, beautiful fall foliage, all of it. No, it's beautiful a couple months of the year right now. I still have family back east, and my sister sent a message this morning. It was -9 degrees. So the snow, it's beautiful in the pictures now, but I do love the fact that we moved to Arizona.
We can be out here with a short sleeve shirt on in January.
Yeah, it's wonderful. No, but I had a great time in Vermont. I went to high school in Vermont and then played college basketball at the University of Vermont. So had a lot of fun there, made it to the NCAA tournament.
Nice.
So really have very fond memories of playing college basketball. And then after that, my then fiance, now husband, we moved to Arizona in 2004. So I feel like I've been here a pretty long time, adjusted pretty well. And, one of my first jobs was in lifestyle recreation out at Estancia.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so kind of through there, it was actually with the Homeowners Association that Desert Mountain utilizes, CCMC, and so kind of through the job, openings, avenues, I found myself at Desert Mountain on the HOA side. That's where I first came into contact with our current Director of Facilities, Todd Bruin. He was my boss there. And then moved over to the club in 2012. So I worked in facilities for the last 9 years, doing a lot of budgets and contracts and project tracking, and not really anything related to being outdoors. A lot of it was behind the screens of a computer, but really got to know the mountain, got to know kind of the procedures and the expectations and what Desert Mountain is all about. And when this opportunity came up with Outdoor Adventures, kind of seemed very much like a natural fit, as I am an outdoor enthusiast. And so yeah, pretty much kind of a blank slate. I mean, Outdoor Rec's always been here, but pulling Outdoor Adventures away from kind of the youth activity center and, other socials like bocce and croquet, we're really trying to create extremely memorable, authentic experiences for the membership that they're going to love, and they're going to continue to come out day after day, week after week.
And we know that to be the case. And just going back a little bit to your time doing facilities work, the sheer organization that was required of you and your team in that role, I saw the Gantt charts, and they went on for days and days and days. multiple days within every day of how many different things would have to happen in order for the next day's worth of things to happen. So if you bring any of that organization to this very dedicated focus of outdoor recreation, outdoor lifestyle, and activities, then we are in for a lot of treats. So
yes,
pretty great.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of great things planned. You know, I just want to say the event calendar that came out, which is amazing and a beautiful resource for the membership. The Outdoor Adventures team was kind of still forming when that came out, and so that's just really the tip of the iceberg of what we have. We've kind of created, and we're going to launch so many more events than are just outlined in there. So members, if you are into outdoor adventures, activities, hiking, mountain biking, stand-up paddleboarding, you know, and much, much more, please, you know, head over to the Sonoran lobby. I'm in the back corner, and we'll set you up with our newsletter where we, you know, give people more information about kind of what's coming down the pike, and that's probably the best place for people to learn about what's going to be coming. That's
a great point. So yes, so you were just getting ramped up when we sent out the new guide out to the printer. So that is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more. And one of the things that I've noticed that's different, other than having a very focused and dedicated department, I mean, it has to be that way at a place like Desert Mountain to have you as the leader. Now you've got a kind of second in command with Jake, and Jake's background, if you want to talk a little bit about him and what he brings to the team as well.
Yeah, Jake is fantastic. Jake has been, he started a couple weeks before me, and so he actually kind of paved the way a little bit for me to jump in. So great teammate. He has about 15 years of background in food and beverage. He worked with the Mets organization, and but then, you know, when COVID hit, he kind of bounced around. So he's been to Scottsdale before, but
The New York Mets?
The New York Mets.
That's cool.
I know. Mets,
I didn't know that.
Working for the Mets.
I didn't either.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So so kind of in between jobs, he worked as a guide for REI and loved it, fell in love with it, loves the outdoors, super active. Him and Arnaldo actually just finished the half marathon, or ran the half marathon in Scottsdale. So, you know, just a lot of like-minded outdoor adventure people. And he's phenomenal at coming, you know, into work. Hey, boss, what do you think of this? Or, hey, how about, can we do this? And so right now it's
Idea man.
Absolutely.
It's kind of an unwritten script to be following and pursuing. And I think he has a background too in hospitality. Didn't he have a little Ritz-Carlton background on his resume as well?
Yep, he does. He does have Ritz-Carlton, a background with the Ritz-Carlton.
So I think between the high touch service aspect, the outdoor piece, your knowledge of the mountain and the membership and those of us here who are lucky enough to work here, I think we're teed up for a lot of greatness. So
yeah, and that's not even mentioning, you know, we're here at the ranch. We're here in the offices of Vicki and Jen,
right?
Our horse guides. Vicki's been here the last 4 years, and Jen actually just started this week. But those guys are fired up and ready to go. We've got some really cool things coming down the pike with them, saying, hey, you know, we've never done this before. Like, for example, next Saturday, we're going to go down to Queen Creek for a Art of the Cowgirl event and, you know, just learn about kind of what it takes to be a cowgirl in the Southwest and in America. And it's a whole big exhibition, and it's our first ever trip. So we've got that. We've got Ravensview rides, you know, shuttling people from Sonoran up to the ranch, take a one-way trip on a horseback over to Ravensview, enjoy some live music.
You get there from here?
Yeah. Just
the heck?
The trails.
Didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. It's awesome. And then we shuttle them back to Sonoran. And
now, I saw that as a recurring event. Is it on Fridays?
Every Friday.
Oh,
wow.
Every Friday. Goodness. That is one of the things that I noticed that was really different in your schedule that you've laid out for us is going out and getting out to see some different things and off-property opportunities. So the Ravensview Horse Trail, that's going to be a heavily utilized activity.
I would do that every week, I think.
Yeah. I think so.
We're already booked this Friday, so,
so
check your calendars. Yeah. No, but we've got some great hiking events going off property. Next Wednesday, we're going down to the Superstitions again, which I got to go. I mean, it's pretty awesome that it's my job that I get to go hiking. I still
So
have to pinch
lucky.
myself sometimes. But we, drive down in the shuttle. We hike the Peralta Trail, which is about, it's 5 miles out and back. But we come to this overlook where you're looking at Weaver's Needle, which actually you can see if you hike up Apache Skyline, you can see the superstitions. And it's like, hey, there's Weaver's Needle. And then now we're taking people to the superstitions. And, hey, there it is a little bit closer. But after that, we get to stop at a really cool brewery for some great food, the flight tasting. The beer looks really good. As the chaperone, I cannot imbibe.
That's okay. You can provide.
Yep. And buy a 4-pack for the way home.
There you go.
So when you're in the comforts of your own house,
Perfect.
that's your thing.
If you
Head
like
on
it.
over to Outdoor Adventures.
That's
all
so
these
great.
all these events so far, new stuff. This is
All
great.
new. All
And
new.
I don't even think we're done talking about it yet.
No,
There's
we haven't
more.
even started. She has a whole sheet in front of her.
Yeah,
so-
I'm looking at the sheet. I'm going, what more could we possibly have?
Yeah, well, we've got some off-road UTV razors. That's in March. We've got a Sunset Jeep Tour in April. We've got some hot air balloon rides scheduled for later. They're going to be sunset, so it's pretty early. But
When are the hot air balloon rides?
so hot air balloon rides are going to be March 22nd and April 26th.
So that is right in the heart of spring.
Yeah.
And our members are going to absolutely love that.
And you said sunrise, right?
Sunrise,
Early.
I did.
Have you been on a hot
I
air
have
balloon?
not been on an air. No.
Is that because you just didn't have the opportunity, or you're a little bit unsure?
I would do it. I would actually book a hot air balloon ride for sure. I know my daughter would love to do that. She's actually asked to have that experience, which is a nice change of scenery as opposed to the shopping and the clothing that's usually on the request list. So I should look into this.
You should.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
All right.
that's cool. Let's see what else you have
What
on
else you got on there?
Just some hikes off property. We've got hikes in the McDowells. We've got hikes in the Cave Creek Regional Park at Spur Cross. So we're trying to keep things local. All the hikes are pretty much, they range from beginner to intermediate. Elephant Mountain and then the distillery down in Cave Creek. That one's coming up at the end of this month as well. That one's a little bit more strenuous. And then, we've booked with the Sears Cay Ruins, which is right up the street. So actually, Jake hooked this up. It's going to be awesome. We've got
what is
their historian tour guide is gonna take us pretty much and show us. There's 40 rooms up there, housed about 100 Hohokam tribe members.
Wow.
Those date back to I think 1050 AD.
Oh my
So
word.
I mean, this area is
Wow.
just rich with history, and that's one of the things that's absolutely incredible about both Vicky and Jake is, when you go on a horse ride or you go on a hike, it's not just let's just tromp
Truck
through
on
the desert
through,
and
right.
just take in the beautiful scenes, which is everyone should do that, slow down and breathe a little bit more. But they're so great at knowing and providing information about the desert fauna and just the life and the history of people who lived here before us. So it's fantastic.
That's incredible. So back to the Sears Cay, where is that in proximity to where we are right now?
It's on the way to Seven Springs, but it's only 20 minutes away from here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very close.
Very nice.
Very close.
Very nice. So bringing it back to the mountain. So we've been watching cars coming back and forth, getting ready to hit the trails this afternoon. It's a perfect day for hike. I mean, January doesn't get much better than this. So beautiful. We're at 20 plus miles of private trails, and they are meticulously maintained. So a little bit about kind of how that happens. What is the process with how the trails are maintained, and anything the members might be interested in there?
Yeah. So, we have the Desperados, which they're a fantastic member organized, outdoor adventure spirited group. And they raise and they have raised and they continue to raise a boatload of money to get these private trails, installed and maintained. And it's unbelievable to think about, you go out hiking and normally, you run into a couple people here and there. But these are private trails. These are well inside the gates of Desert Mountain.
You're running into your neighbors, right?
Yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
much.
that's who you're going to see out there.
Yeah, so it's pretty fantastic. And, the Desperados are a tremendous group. They have some show and go options, so they hike the trails a lot, and they do different routes. Longer days, shorter days. They kind of just meet at the trailhead and say, hey, today we're just going to go here. This group maybe wants to go for 2 miles. This group maybe wants to go for 6. So there's a lot of opportunities to hike within Desert Mountain, and then in the outside too. There's so many options, and there's so many cool things out there to go see.
So thank you for bringing up the show and go, because that is something that we see as a recurring opportunity on the calendar. And many times it's hosted by the Desperados. You all may step in as well to assist with that. The Moonlight Hikes is another example. Paint a picture of that experience.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I've not been on a moonlight hike before. I had a conflict with my kiddos' play practice. However, I think I'm going to go on the next one. But pretty much take off from Desert Mountain, meet at the trailhead a little bit before sunrise. I think they go up and hike maybe the China Wall Loop. And then I think the sun, Jake went on the last one, but I think the sun sets, and so the moon comes out, and then you kind of descend by light of the moon and then your headlamp.
That is amazing.
Yeah. But there's been, 20-ish plus people, all on a sunset hike. So and the view from up here, it's got to be fantastic.
Michael, I think we need to send you on one of those and get some photos.
I'm there.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, I did go on a hike for one of our Friday jams.
We did. We have video of it.
That might look like a larger gentleman, but I can get up there. I can get up those mountains.
I have no doubt about that. You just need good shoes.
That's all it is.
Right. Gotta have good shoes.
Yeah, and good moisture wicking socks help too, I've found. I think we've all been in Arizona a pretty long time, but
Yes.
For someone who's new here, it's easy to get to the trails. They're easy to access, all trails, and especially here at the ranch. But that's not all there is to it. Like, hiking in Arizona is kind of its own animal, right?
Absolutely.
Could you guys kind of give our members some tips, maybe what to do, what not to do, do's and don'ts of hiking in Arizona?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of first and foremost, let people know where you're going. If you know the route you're going to take, if you know what trails you're going to be hiking, just make sure you have that information with someone. Again, probably not advisable to hike by yourself, but if you do, make sure you let someone know. Have a cell phone out here. Reception's a little bit spotty, but that can never hurt.
Sure.
Always bring more water than you're anticipating needing. It can be a little heavy in the beginning of the trek, but it's more incentive to keep drinking it, to lighten your load as you go along.
Yep.
And then a good pair of sturdy hiking shoes is important. As you mentioned, moisture wicking socks. And if you're gonna do a lot of elevation change, the hiking poles or trekking those aren't a bad idea to have as well.
I can attest to the water. That gotta bring enough water.
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody told me once, when you get about half your water gone, might be a good idea to turn around.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably more for the summer than right now, but always, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, and then there's the basic things of hats, protect yourself from the sun.
Sure.
Sunscreen.
Okay.
All good things to
good
keep
information.
in mind. The wildlife that's out here. Members will love to hear about them. Maybe not always see them, the close encounters necessarily.
No.
But what can we warn our members about maybe coming into contact with the wildlife up here?
Yeah, well, the best advice would be, don't contact the wildlife up here. But,
do not feed them.
Do not feed them. Do not, try to touch them or pet them. If you see, a rattlesnake on this trail, if it's stretched out, laying, sunning, just give it a wide berth. If it's coiled up and it looks like it's ready to, do some business, maybe back away and give it some space.
So the wildlife situation, that's definitely something to keep in mind. But behind us, we have some fabulous horses who are getting a lot of action these days, right?
Yes.
So they're getting out there. We got the rides happening. What's going on with that?
We do. So we are offering rides 5 days a week now.
Wow.
So a couple different rides. We've got morning rides, afternoon rides, sunset rides, and then the Ravens View ride that we talked about. That's another great point to the members that are using the hiking trails. When you're out, if you want to bring your four-legged Love along.
Your little
Your
doggy.
love dog. Just please make sure that they are on a leash, because we have had some encounters with dogs off leash with horses. You don't necessarily know how each animal is going to react, and when people are on the horses, it can be a little frightening. So it's important that dogs stay on leash.
Keep the dogs on the leash. Be mindful of other animals that are on the trail, and how they react to one another is sometimes an unknown. And definitely pick up after your pets.
Absolutely, yes.
That's a big one, isn't it?
It is a big one.
Yeah, for sure.
Should be common sense, but
Well, good. And I know the Desperados would appreciate us talking about that too. I wanted to remind members, if you want to learn more about the Desperados, we do have the DM Gives Back section on the member website. They work with the Desert Mountain Foundation. So you'll see some information there about them, what they offer, the role that they play at Desert Mountain, and how to donate to them.
One other thing I wanted to ask you about was something that maybe we didn't have super recently, but we're going to get back into, is the glamping aspect up here at the ranch. Can you tell us anything about what's on the horizon for that?
You know what? I'm so glad you asked about glamping because we've kind of been chomping at the bit to release the glamping dates. But we have scheduled and set aside 16 dates for glamping starting in March. March 4th is going to be the first available date.
How does one glamp? What will the member expect when they sign up to go glamping?
So glamping is kind of where luxury meets the fabulous outdoors. So we have 5 equipped tents up on the reef, and they're tents, but they're not really tents.
Yeah, are we talking like Boy Scout, Girl Scout, zip up the little pitch tent, or what are we talking?
No, they're actually wood floors. There's actually a little patio area where you can sit out, have your morning coffee if you would like. There's queen size beds. There's twin beds with 600 thread sheet counts. There's running water. There's bathrooms.
Kim, I think even you could handle this
I'd be
experience.
okay. I'd be okay with that.
It's like half cabin, half tent.
It's a flushing toilet. You will have a flushing toilet in your tent.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and then all the other amenities that come along with it, with the cook and the security and the entertainment, and we're going to do private buyouts if people want it.
Take
special
over the
occasion,
whole thing.
take over the whole thing. We've contracted with our cowboy chef again, Barb, who worked with H2R in the past. So people who have glamped before should be familiar with her and kind of what she brings to the table, pun intended. No, but it's amazing. I mean, we've got security up there staying overnight so people can kind of feel rest at ease.
Is it a cowboy with a shovel standing out in front of my tent?
No, nobody's going to be standing out in front of your tent unless, maybe
Okay.
it's warranted.
Okay.
But yeah, it's, 4-course meal, breakfast and amazing views, the fire pit, marshmallows, and just a world of memories.
That is going to be so great. So just to compare a little bit, the glamping that was here, our special guest actually.
Yeah, he did arrive.
Yeah, that's
popped
Ziggy.
his head over.
Ziggy.
Hey, what up?
Hey, buddy.
So we did have a third party managing the setup and tear down and sort of hospitality components of our glamping program. And now we've taken it in-house.
We have taken it all in-house.
Which is fantastic. So we have all the same equipment. We've invested in some new equipment. And so that's cool. That's really great. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it should be fun. We're going to, we sliced off a little chunk, 16 days to kind of get our feet wet with it and see,
Right.
How it goes. And then we're going to kind of reevaluate and then obviously bring it back and make it better.
So again, just kind of the math on it with the 5 tents, you could have your entire family come and take over the whole thing. You can fit 4 in each tent because you have 2 queen size beds in each.
Yeah. We've got 3 tents with 2 queen size beds and then 2 tents with a queen size and then 2 twin beds.
Got it. Okay. And so the other combinations, what are some other combinations that you could maybe rent if you were interested? Like in terms of if I just wanted one for my family.
If you just wanted a whole tent like a whole glamping site buyout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just the one tent, not all 5 tents.
So each tent is set up, and then you can either choose the 2 queens or the 1 queen and the 2
Got it.
twin beds.
Makes sense. Okay. And then on the food side, what does that ordering look like? How's Barb going to handle that for us?
So, I mean, the best I can kind of compare it to is like when you get invited to a wedding. Do you want beef or chicken?
Yep.
Or so it's kind of like there's two options. It's like chicken or fish or beef and pork. And so, we reach out to the member and kind of get what their preferences are well in advance. And, Barb just needs the information like a week in advance. If there's any changes, she can accommodate for vegetarian diet, vegan diet. We just need to know ahead of time so she can purchase the proper ingredients. And then she cooks everything up there in front of you while chatting to you and talking. It's amazing.
How fun. Okay, so what else is on, what's on your mind, Theresa? What else do we have going on?
So all these lists of things are pretty much things that Jake and I have, come into the office and be like, hey, let's do this. This would be cool. But we also want to hear what members think is cool and worthy of our time and attention to schedule and to execute, because as much as I could think my ideas are just the coolest ever.
Amazing.
Everyone's different. And so, we're kind of staying local to begin with, but once we fine tune things again, we're going to look to go a little bit bigger. Arizona has so many amazing things, as does the Southwest, as does the Pacific Northwest. I mean, pretty much the sky's the limit. So, we want to hear from members too about what they want to see and what cool things that they want to do.
It's probably becoming more of a challenge for the members you got to get pretty creative to outdo these guys. There's a lot on here. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. And I love this too. If it isn't on here, you're getting into the world of customization.
Absolutely. Yeah. People can reach out. We've actually had a couple families reach out to Jake already and kind of schedule private hiking trips, with lunch at Janie's in Cave Creek. Or, it could be more than that. Mountain biking we're starting to get up and go with mountain biking as well. So, really, I know I've said this before, but the sky is the limit.
That's so good.
Shout out Janie's in Cave Creek. That's a favorite of mine. Kim knows that about me.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
I love Janie's.
Janie's is great.
I do need to give a shout out to the Mountain Minute. Always look in the Mountain Minute, the Tuesdays, the Thursdays. It literally takes a minute to read, maybe 2 minutes to read. So everything you need to know about programming or things happening on the mountain, we will cover it in there. And that is not uncommon. This Thursday, we're going to have some nice features for Theresa and her team. But you want to get some kind of specialized emails out to some groups. So what are you looking to do there?
We do, yeah. So as mentioned before, if any of things that have been talked about today on this podcast spark your interest, or, hey, that sounds cool, I want to learn more about that, the newsletter the Outdoor Adventures newsletter is the best way to learn about that information. Right now, we've been pumping it out about once a month because, I know the mode of communication is a lot of emails, but we might up that to 2 times a month just because we are promoting a lot of things and we are adding things constantly. And, we want the members to know about it. So the newsletter is the best place to check it out.
Perfect. And we'll promote that in this Thursday's edition of the Mountain Minute, so you can sign up for that.
Our listeners are avid Mountain Minute readers because the podcast comes out in the Mountain Minute. So
of course,
we know that they're reading the Mountain Minute.
They love it.
Thank you, members.
I think we need to go for a hike.
Hey, I didn't bring my hiking shoes.
I have golf shoes on right now, but that's okay.
Sure.
You can trek up the mountain.
Can we do a custom one right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Custom experience. Well, very good. Well, thank you again. We're looking so much forward to all the wonderful ideas that you've got in motion, and definitely reach out to us. You can reach us. I'll pass anything along to Theresa. If you want to give out your email address, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. It's tbeall@desertmt.com.
And congratulations on the new position. Pretty cool.
I love that. That is fantastic.
We were just chatting a little bit before we started recording, and I was blown away because it's like you really did go from a job that required you to be at your desk probably the majority of the day, and now we're out here in the barn, we're out here with the horses.
We're
so.
out here in the barn with all kinds of ins and outs in between. I mean, there isn't a corner of this mountain that Theresa hasn't touched. So
Oh, no, it's great to be here. I want to thank you guys for having me out. It's been awesome. And no, I'm super grateful for this new position and this new role with Desert Mountain. It's kind of seeing Desert Mountain on from a different lens. And it's been awesome so far. And I just can't wait to take it further.
we're going to have a great time. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Theresa.
Thank you.
All right, Kim.
I think we have we have some shots around the mountain that we're going to talk about.
Shots heard round the mountain.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's take a look.
Thanks so much, Mike. Thank you, Kim, and hello, Desert Mountain members. This is Patrick McKenzie coming to you with these shots around the mountain from the last week, and boy, were the members busy on the Outlaw course. Starting with Bob Harrington on Wednesday, January 5th, a hole-in-one on number 6. This was Mr. Harrington's 8th career ace and 2nd ace in the last 6 weeks. He is on a roll. Derek Valancourt, Sunday, January 9th, a hole-in-one on number 12 Outlaw. Nicole Corcoran, Tuesday, January 11th, an eagle on number 14 Outlaw. And then to round it all out, Mark SAVOFF on Tuesday, January 11th, a hole-in-one on number 4 Outlaw. That was his 4th career ace. Congratulations. Can't wait to see more of these shots next week. Mike, Kim, back to you.
Congratulations, everyone that had amazing shots, as always, every week.
Never a doubt. They're going to be out there.
Well, I think that about wraps it up, Kim.
I think you're right.
Another one in the books.
Another one of the books. We haven't been discontinued, or what is the word?
Canceled.
We haven't been canceled.
Yeah.
Let's keep the podcast going. It's a good thing.
I think so, too.
I love it.
We appreciate everyone's support, and thank you very much, Theresa, for joining us today.
Thank you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
To everyone else, we will see you around the mountain.
See you around the mountain.
Bye-bye.